Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, so call the Ordinance Subcommittee meeting to order at 6:11. There's nobody here for public speak, and I guess we'll worry about approving the minutes in a big bunch. We don't have to do that right now necessarily. So, alright, let's look at our agenda here, and I guess it's just us in attendance. Now, we do have a public hearing with the planning board on the 12th. So let's make sure that we let Don know. I'll do that. I'll give him a call that we have Tuesday the 12th at 6 p.m. Well, I guess the hearing's at 6:15. And let me just see. Okay, good. And that is going to be on the keeping of chickens in industrial zones. So, I believe we already voted on that as a committee to, oh wait. I think we voted to bring it to the planning board. That's what there's Dawn. I thought I heard something. We're just talking about you, Don.
You're just talking about me?
That I was going to remind you that we have a joint
you
public.
Didn't draw no blood.
That we have a joint public hearing with the planning board on chickens.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. So that's Tuesday the 12th. So I just said that I was going to remind you. So I'm reminding you. Let that be your warning.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Glad you made it. And so let's see what else we are.
Are we on camera?
Yes.
Alright.
What do we have in front of us? Oh, we have a public hearing coming up, right? On I could have sworn we had one on making the administrative code change.
Proposed to amend the city ordinances, Chapter 7, Section 7 through 18, classification pay plan.
Yes, and that is for making the... wait, no, this one's not ours. This one, the administrative code proposal, the Home Rule Charter, and that is to establish the Energy Advisory Committee. The administrative. This
It's an ordinance.
It is an ordinance, but we gave it to finance.
Okay.
Because it was linked to the supplemental appropriation. So we don't, because that's linked to the COLA. So they took that, so we don't even have to worry about that. But the one that we do have is the one for the Energy Advisory Committee, which, you know, I think is a great idea. I was on the committee before it was proposed to be an actual. We were like a subcommittee that kind of branched off of the master plan committee. And what we did was we met. I think it was Mary Ellen Russo was the one coordinating it, and we started the Mass Saves thing, which actually I would really. Let me write this down for myself because we won a competition with another town.
You mentioned that about the solar panel.
Yeah, and we won a solar panel, I believe, and I don't think we've gotten it yet.
Yeah, that was from Ludlow.
Yeah, Ludlow, right? We beat. I feel like we won. And
yeah, we won it.
Yeah, and so I don't think we've gotten.
Well, maybe somebody absconded with it.
Somebody stole our solar panel. So I'm gonna make a note to myself to look into that. Let's see if we can find a pen.
It's easy enough to check that where it is or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think you said they had a place for it to go.
Well, I think
we were going to use it or someplace. I can't. But I mean, that happened so long ago. It's hard to remember everything.
I know. I think they were talking about maybe putting it at the DPW
Something like
garage.
Either that or the water treatment plant. Or
Yeah.
or the sewer plant. One or the other.
I must have left my pen somewhere. I'll just write it on my phone. Yeah, but, okay. All right.
How's it going?
Not bad.
Crazy weather.
Oh my God, it's 60 degrees this morning. It was outrageous.
I tell you, I froze outside today when that wind kicked up.
It was cold.
I was stripped out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it was warm and nice, and the sun was out, and then the wind came. Pooh. All right, so I'm gonna check on that solar panel. Thank you.
Well, boy, the melt that we got. When I got up this morning and I looked at the melt on the ground, I said, "Oh my God!"
I noticed it when I got home. It was just surprising to see there's no snow left, just a couple little banks.
Yes. All right, so a couple of things we have on here. So you missed Jessica come in and talk to us.
Yeah, I realized that. You told me about Jessica.
Yeah.
The only one thing I want to say, because
Sure.
she was talking about grants to, for a guy to come in for the stretch code and everything else like that. One thing we have to remember about grants, if we create a job under grant, and then no matter how it's not going to be funded, is there going to be enough room in the budget to fund that position after?
Well,
So, I mean,
yeah.
there's things that we have to take into consideration. Now, grants are fine for what they are, but grants do nothing in the whole financial order of the town and the finances, because, you know, it just doesn't come. Once the grants go, that's it.
Yep, that's
And
true.
if for a certain purpose, I mean, whether I agree with certain grants or not, that's the way it is. So,
Right, and I think that was something that I addressed with her, and you know, I think as the department head, that would be at her level deciding what grants to go after
Yeah.
and how she. But you know, one of the things I mentioned is if they do get that position filled with a grant, then my suggestion was, since they were already looking at adding that extra person, was making sure that person got trained in the lead certification. And if they got trained in lead certification, then they could certify houses in Easthampton, which is jumping ahead of the curve, because you know, basically what she said was the next set of building codes, the stretch code is going to be the building code. And so that means there's going to be a big demand for the lead certification people. And if we have somebody in-house here, say Southampton needs somebody, because that's going to be the building code, Southampton's going to have to do it, we'll be able to send that guy over there and he can pay for his salary. He can pay for himself by doing certain, inspections.
You know, it sounds good that way, Salem, and I don't doubt your reasoning on the whole thing. But then again, the way the stretch code is going, there might be a backlash somewhere along the line and it gets dropped too.
Maybe, but I mean,
And, you know, and I know that the way things run in this town at times, and they've always been looking for more staff down there in the building inspector's office. We're fortunate with our electrical inspector at part-time, and he doesn't get very much. The plumbing inspector gets next to nothing. And I mean, just because the state has more or less created this position, as far as I'm concerned, the state should be kicking and paying for it.
well, and that you never know. That might be part of the equation. There might be grants from the state to help with that, and So, but I mean, the feeling I'm getting is that statewide, there's not a big push to loosen the building code, and it looks like it's going to keep moving. And the next step is basically the stretch code. Now, what she did say about rescinding it, she's basically said that we couldn't do it. And the reason is because we've gotten, well, first of all, she said when we go for grants, we get certain points. And one of the main points is being a green community. We get a certain level of points. So just because of that we have the green community certification, it sets us up to be at the front of the line for quite a few grants, which is going to bring a lot of money into Easthampton, and already has brought money into Easthampton, like a decent amount. And if we, and since we've already accepted that money, that she seemed to think that probably wouldn't be something that we could do.
She actually doesn't really know, does she?
Well, I mean, she seemed pretty confident.
I mean, one thing of it is, she's a planner, she could know her stuff.
Yeah.
But just for a point of an argument, there once again, look at your new growth. You have nothing.
That's
Well, we've got that Parsons Village going on.
15 new projects under stretch code. 9 of them were residential houses.
Down there at Treehouse.
Right. Well, no, I don't think
And,
that wasn't including the new ones that are going up at Treehouse right now.
Huh?
I don't think it was. I think it was. I think it included 2 or 3 of the new ones down there. But in the last 2 months, there's been, I think, maybe 5 or 6 that have gone in down there.
They just sold 150.
Yeah, they're actually like nice little houses. They're not bad looking. You know.
That you want.
I don't. I live across the street.
You live up on the hill.
What I'd really like is to.
You look down upon that hill.
No, I don't. I'm on the other side.
Yeah.
But if I had Arts, I would love to buy Arts property. That's a beautiful place.
Who's piece?
Art Sherry's. That's a really nice spot.
It's only $750. Isn't it?
Too much for me. That's too rich for my blood. Oh, my neighbor. He has in my backyard, 8 acres.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. Anyway.
Did they sell the log cabin off yet?
No, I don't even think it's for
Does that
sale.
go with it or what?
I think it's separate. It's a separate and it's not even for sale. They have renters.
It's a separate piece. That's
Yeah.
a chunk of property.
It's nice. Yeah. But they have renters in there now, and there's no for sale sign, so I don't even think it's for sale. But
Don't know if it's leased.
yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I mean, basically, what she was saying was that she didn't. She was not in support of rescinding it, and she felt like it would, even if we could, it would put us in a much a weakened position in order to secure more funding for Easthampton.
Here's another thing. Our legislature and our Senate does not look at all the stuff that's coming through in the building code. To get the organization down there, they push it out. It's just one of those things, they just let it go. And the thing of it is, I do not like pitting one community against the other. It either comes in all at once or it doesn't come in at all. That's my biggest gripe.
Well, yeah.
And my other gripe is, it's killing us for new growth in this town when you look what they're getting in Southampton. And, you know, they're putting we have developers that hire people from town and create jobs. And they're not creating the jobs no more.
Right. Well, I mean,
in this economy, every job that we can get going.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, my counter to that would be that, first of all, there's a lot more open space in Southampton, so there's more opportunity for new growth.
You got more acreage out there.
Way more acreage. I mean, Easthampton,
Still have plenty of room.
we have some, but it's much tighter.
It's a lot more than you think.
Yeah, but a lot of it's got APRs. A lot of it is, you know,
Not necessarily.
I mean, some of it, but and a lot of it's just not available for
Some of
builders.
it might be in chapter land, but chapter land can come out.
Right, but I mean, it's. I don't know if you have. I haven't seen a lot of big parcels, developable parcels in Easthampton for new residential. I just don't know if there's a lot of those.
I also not like to see us just
Right up by
Just
right
build,
up-
shit and
go build
build up
willy
right up
nilly.
by you, John Street.
John Street.
Yeah, right up on Main Street, down in the back. That's zone residence all the way through. All the way down to Wamiko Way.
And I think that, you know, as far as pitting communities against each other, you know, my counter to that would be, well, Southampton's going to miss out on all of the grant opportunities that we're going to get that's going to, you know, allow us to do some really nice things downtown, allow us to do some good things with the Dye Works building, allow us to do good things for our recreation.
There's another question. With the Dye Works building going in, are they going to get the same tax break that Parsons Village is going to get? They won't have to pay 100% like Parsons Village?
Oh, I don't know. I know that we're getting.
Because
Jessica said we were going to get a big bonus from the state for the Dye Works thing, and that was what she was hoping to do, a master plan or a complete overhaul of the zoning.
definitely needed. I can't argue that point.
Yeah. No, but that was one of the things she said to us. She said, you know, one of the things, if Dye Works goes in, there might be a pot of money from the state that would allow us to take our zoning, hire a consultant, and just go through it. And that way we could deal with all the special permit issues, we could deal with everything in one foul swoop.
The thing of it is, there's enough smart people in this town and enough people that know stuff. You can go right through the zoning book and clear it up so it's easy to read and there's no conflict. All you have to do mainly is your districts. R10, R15,
Yeah.
all of
Well,
this.
I agree with that, but
one
I would say...
chapter at a time, and right there, so it doesn't conflict with one another, and you're way ahead of the game.
Here's what I would say is, I after being a city council for however long we've been, it's too long, 10 years actually.
You were there before me.
Yeah, 10 years. So, you know, one of the things I've noticed, there's too much vested interest, and that's why I would feel like having an outside consultant come in who doesn't have a bird in the fight. Is that an expression?
Yeah, I agree though. I mean, sometimes even in education, you can't do it yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
You want to. It's the cheapest way to do it. You have the talent, but you need somebody from the outside to
Come in, at least mediate.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about the highway zoning. I mean, that like the highway zoning thing. That's a disaster. And it's all people that are from Easthampton and know what's going on. But the reason why we couldn't get it together is because too many conflicting interests and vested interests. You know.
The difference is, people don't, my big complaint is, people don't realize this is an old mill town. You gotta work with what you got, okay? Now, I saw a bumper sticker at the Florence Diner in Northampton. Easthampton, the center of the
universe, yeah.
Okay? So, I mean, that's a little scary if you're dealing with those people on the committee. No, I mean, you're talking about attracting tourists to town and everything else. You don't have a museum, you don't have this, you don't have that to attract with. If you have a function going on, like the Bear Fest, or when they have the sale across the street, that's entirely different. That's 1 or 2 days a function coming. I don't call those people tourists.
No. They're not necessarily tourists. I think they're patronizers, and we have, you know, like now with Popcorn Noir, and we have that little cool guitar shop that serves beer and has live music. Yeah, and we have. You know, so we're bringing people into town. I know for a fact because I mean, there's quite a few people that come there, like I am, coming into Easthampton to go to Amy's and get a beer. You know, like there's a lot of people that are patronizing us.
You're spending all that money at Amy's?
I wish I was. I need to. What's this? Luther's.
Oh, yeah. The other night actually.
Oh, I really want to go check it out. I really want to live music, beer, and wine.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, it's a cool little spot, right?
Yeah, except for I've got to. I don't know who I should go to, whether it should be the chamber or something. Yeah, it wasn't loud or anything like that, but the owner told me that, and sure enough, a police officer came in and wanted to talk to the owner, and there had been a noise complaint or something. I guess the residents across the street every night call the police to come, and it was just one of those. You could see like all the patrons who were there were just, you know, everything just went dull for a second. So yeah.
That's really too bad.
And the idea of, you know, are the police coming in every weekend, and that's what.
And are they going to Amy's place? Are they going to Whiskers when they have like raucous live music?
And again, it wasn't loud. It was strings, you know, because I mean it's like a guitar shop and stuff. So it was banjos, mandolin, and stuff. But I guess the people out on the street, and again, it's one of those things. We don't want to be discouraging people out on the street.
And what if it's just one person who has a mental disorder that wants to call every night and give these people a hard time?
So and again, it's, you know, there's no ordinance that I would see.
Well, there's no noise ordinance in Easthampton. So maybe one of the things that we can do is just send Bruce an email and just say, listen, hey, if you're getting repeat complaints and it doesn't seem legitimate, then, you know, is that the best use of our officers' time?
Right.
You know, because to me it doesn't seem like it is.
Well, of course, the owner made a complaint to me then.
There you go.
They got DJs at Whiskers.
Yeah, they have like bands, like full bands.
Cat, but they control it, and I don't think there's no complaints. But you have to realize, right where Luther's is, right across the street, you have residents.
Yeah.
And where Luther's is, you have people living upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, you don't know who is complaining or what. And I mean, maybe they have a legitimate reason too.
Yeah, maybe.
If they had a young child going to bed, that music is kicking up.
Well, you know,
I mean, there's things that have to be read into it.
Well, I mean, again, I've been into Whiskers, I've been into the Brass Cat, I've been into, you know, Luther's now, and the noise level wasn't even comparable.
Not even close.
You know, and so maybe it was
not with strings and everything else. No.
But that goes to the Derby master plan, which I had since day one of taking city council, is figuring out a way to buy up those houses across the street. And then we're partnering with a developer and putting up a brick facade of buildings across the street from our current brick facade with housing up above and commercial down below to give us more commercial in Easthampton, and then having a parking lot or a parking garage in the back. of those spots, of those brick buildings, for parking for the residents and parking for downtown. I mean, we have such a big parking. How cool would that be?
Well, look at look what the town did, right? They had an opportunity for Rice's old house, right?
Where's Rice's old house?
Right next to the municipal parking lot at Cottage Street now.
Oh, okay.
The Subway shop.
Oh, the Subway shop, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that was on for sale.
So they waived the rights to that house and put it on the market.
See, that was a mistake.
So I mean, there was a big boo-boo that the community made right there.
Yeah. See, if I was mayor or if I was whoever made that decision, I would have made that decision in a heartbeat. That to me just makes sense. As those houses become available, we figure out how to get them, and that investment is such a gigantic investment in our community to fix that corridor. Because really having those residential houses there it's out of sync with the existing character.
You're an old mill town. That's why. I mean, that's the way things were built.
Ooh, yeah, I really want to figure out One Ferry Street. I would love to figure out a solution for One Ferry because
One Ferry. The biggest problem is I went to most of the hearings on One Ferry Street. All of it was the guy was coming in. The guy
dumping in the paper.
Huh?
The guy that was bringing the paper in?
Yeah.
And just dumping the paper in there?
No, not that guy. The guy that were in there to...
Oh, they renovated it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had a trailer set up and everything else. And they were going there with their plans and everything else. They couldn't get nothing out of the planning board. All it was about low income that. The guy, I was there one night and he showed some buildings they want to do over and they had the drawings. And where he wanted an artist shop on top, and your apartment in the back, or upstairs, a loft, and everything. He read it. It was just, instead of saying, look, One Ferry Street is bad, that's one of the first things that should be addressed in this town.
Anything should go in there. Anything.
And the thing of it is, this is one time, even if you don't like it a little bit, or you don't think, or whatever the story is, or who's ever on the opposite side pushing it, close your eyes and blink. It's better for the town.
It's better for something to be there than it is
next to nothing.
It's rotting. It's an abscess in our community, and we need to get something in there. And I don't know how the city council can figure that out, or whether
the guy told me. The thing of it is, just before they folded, he said to me, since I can't get the permit, he said, they pulled my financing. He said, I'm going to Chicago. He said, I think I get some financing in Chicago. I'm flying out. I know it's a group of people out there, some investors.
Mafia.
Well, you're not in Detroit. And whatever happened is that's when the bottom fell out.
Oh, and
the whole housing market. Nobody was going to go in.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly love to just see something go in there.
The guy was different. The guy, the one partner's still there.
Oh,
but the other guy's gone. I don't even know if he's involved with it anymore.
I wonder if Jessica knows what's going on down there. Maybe I'll look into that because I feel like if there's anything that we could do, I'd be gung ho to jump on that.
The thing of it is, it's just the way. Look, you're on a city council. You can't do everything. Right?
No.
And One Ferry Street always bugged me, so I stuck my nose into it. I started going down to the thing. Should the whole council been there? Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, but that's a toss-up. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we can start. If we could have. Some sort of informal committee or some sort of a committee branch out off of the property committee that's specifically focused on One Ferry Street or something. Anyway, that's a little out of our purview right now. Maybe we should get back to our...
We should clean up our stuff on the agenda.
Yeah. So, basically what my thought was for the stretch code thing would be just to dismiss it without prejudice. And if we need to revisit it...
If you guys want to do that, it's fine by me. You can do it. I'll vote. I won't vote for it that way because I feel the other way.
Okay, that's
no hard feelings to anybody.
Okay. For what Justin was talking to me about his special permit thing, he said just keep it on the agenda until we find out what's going on with the comprehensive review of zoning. He said keep it on the agenda, and he promised that he was going to get me the examples of the things that were out of sync. So I haven't gotten that from him, but he did tell me he was going to get it. So I'll send him another email, which I will remind myself.
The main thing that's out of sync, his zoning book right now says
the tables.
You can do all these things, but then you got to get a special permit. So it's not. So up how can it be allowed and you need a special permit? I mean, it drives me up a wall.
Well, I think what he was specifically talking about was the inconsistencies between the narrative and the tables. One said that the fence has to be 14 feet in the narrative, and then you go to the table and it says it has to be 12 feet. Yeah. It's like there's actual inconsistencies. So I think
the book is a mess.
Yeah. So he's gonna get me that, and that way we'll be good to go. And so chickens, we have a joint public hearing on Tuesday, the 12th. So today's the 31st, right? So that's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks on a Tuesday.
We're voting for a chicken in every pot.
Chicken in every pie. If we can get one there. But they have to be free range.
Oh, don't forget, years and years ago, he used to make a pork dish to taste like chicken because pork was cheaper than chicken.
Oh, really?
I was reading that in the paper. I never knew.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Well, you know what they say about pigs, that they have the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. Isn't that amazing? That's what they say.
Well, don't forget the valves they were put in your heart for a long time before the mechanical were for a pig's heart.
Well, interesting.
I guess the question is whether or not you're telling me that my daughter has the intelligence of a pig.
Is your daughter 3 right now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, my daughter's 6, and sometimes I wonder.
How old's your daughter? 3? 3. Let's see, 3. You got maybe 11 to 12 more good years.
No, I'll tell you. It's unbelievably amazing between having my boys and then having my daughter. She's like so amazingly aware and conscientious, and I mean, granted, she can have her moments, but she's just I'd love having.
My wife sent me this picture today.
Cute kid, looks better than you will. It looked good on a Christmas card.
It's just a.
Let's see.
Kids are alright.
A donut. They were at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
Oh, that's excellent. All right, so
time for 5 more.
All right, so we're good. The only thing that we have is administrative code, and that's our public hearing for next time. And I can't remember if we already voted on this, but you want to just vote again to recommend it? That way we can go into the hearing.
For the pay plan or for the
this is for the Energy Committee, Energy Advisory Committee.
Well, so, I think it should go forward to the electrical college.
Okay, so do we want to get a motion? So do you want me to just read again what it is?
No, we already voted on it.
Oh, we did vote on it?
Yep.
Okay, good. And it was 3
January 10th. 2 to 0.
2 to 0. Do you want to add your 2 cents?
I mean, I don't have no input on it.
Okay. All right. Well, then I think we're good to go then.
We're at a good meeting tonight.
Oh, thank you, Don. I appreciate you coming. So, all right. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Good to go.
Formal.